look at life. Can I tell you a story, what happened in my life? When we were children, my father being a physician, we lived in a city. But my ancestral home was in a small town or a large village or maybe a small town you can call it, where they were wealthy people and big landowners and a huge home. During summer vacations, about all of us, cousin brothers and sisters who live in different cities, we all arrived at our ancestral home approximately. We were about 36 of us, boys and girls, from the age of 3, 4 up to 18 kind of group. One crazy rollicking time of a month and a half out there. So during these times, my great-grandmother, who was already over 100 years of age at that time, she lived up to be 113. So, she was not living at home. She, after her husband passed away, a few years later, she moved out and built a temple for herself, okay not for some god. She built a temple and she sat in the temple. Women, you know. So, people gathered around her, and when all the children came, she came home to see us during those times. There are many things about her, I will cut it down to one aspect which is important for today. One thing I saw about her was, I'm like around 4 or 5 years of age, and I see that if morning her breakfast is given to her, she will go about, she will feed the ants, she will feed the sparrows and squirrels. Nearly 50 to 60% of her food would go to these things. And she will sit there watching them eating, ants are eating her breakfast, and she would sit there with tears flowing out of her eyes. I'm just around 5 years of age and I think she's very emotional about these ants. I go about you know. But she won't stop me, that's the best thing. She won't stop me from killing those ants, but she feeds them. Then I ask her, what is this? You're so emotional about the ants, what's the problem with you? Then she would just laugh loudly and say, someday you will know. It took me another 20 years later that I became like this, that I couldn't look at a leaf or an ant or a cloud or just a whiff of air or breeze without tears in my eyes. You ask me why am I wearing my glasses, that's why. Well, because if you pay enough attention to life, if you pay enough attention to any aspect of life, it is too incredible. It doesn't fit into our intelligence. With all your intelligence, with all your science, with all your technology, do you believe… I know you will say, oh, robots are coming, this will happen, that will happen. Do you really believe you can even manufacture an ant? It is too incredible. It is too incredible. So, unfortunately, human beings have come to this as what is important and what is not important in their life. Whatever created all this did not pay more attention to human beings and less attention to ants. Hello? If you have paid enough attention to an ant, you would realize they are created as intricately as we are. Hello? And the significance of their life is much higher than ours. But we are dominating the place, so we become very crude and we think we are everything. See, it could be happening in countries, it could be happening in communities, it could be happening in families. I'm taking the example of a bad man, okay? Not woman, okay, I'm leaving you alone. There are men who, just because they have the control and the power over a situation, who will do things crudely, that what he says, what he wants is the only thing that should happen in my family or in my community or in my country. Hello? There are people like that, still are. Now, if you… this is how whole humanity is. Just because we have power over a few other things, our abilities and our competence and our intelligence seems to be at a higher level, we are behaving like that man that all of you hate. I'm talking to the woman now. Hello? We are all behaving like that man who is crude and who steps over everything and walks around wantonly without any sense about anything. Hello? As humanity, we have become that man. So I used to see… my grandfather is for those days, he's a very super rich man, and he will sit in the front of the house and people will come in hundreds to see him. He's distributing money, he's talking down to people and acting like a king out there. In the backyard, my great-grandmother is sitting. She sits on the floor and people come after they go through the horrible experience with my grandfather. Because, money transactions, people who are poor have to go through so many things. And then they come to see her. She's got nothing to give, but they come to see her because they genuinely want to see her. And they hold her hand, they fall at her feet, they cry, and they go without any reason. So this had a very deep impression on me that as a human being, it's more important to be sensitive than to be powerful. Hello? Hello? Today, unfortunately, we are looking at everything as power. Money means power, wealth means power, education means power, information means power. It's very important that with the kind of intelligence, with the kind of competence as human beings we've evolved to, it's extremely important. Our sensitivity to life is far more important than our ability to exert our power on everybody. That's the crudest way to live, most uncivilized way to live. Even animals don't do that, I'm just informing you. Hello? So this… our ability to exert power over this planet is what has got us to this place. There is no one evil person or entity sitting somewhere wanting to destroy this planet, there's no such thing. It is just in our pursuit of happiness and well-being, we are just destroying everything around us. Because we were… is it okay, can I continue a little more with my great-grandmother? Because she lived that long, People used to say she's a devil of a woman. Not because she did anything evil, because if she laughed, the whole street shook. Like that she would laugh. Those days, I'm sure it was so here also in this part of the world, women were not supposed to laugh loudly. Hello? If they cry, it was natural. If they laugh, it was unnatural. Hey, I want to hear some lady laughter. Hello. I'm sorry for the women for all that, but I really pity the men. How did they live with women who cannot laugh? Hello? It must be really pathetic. Hello? It must be really pathetic to live with women who cannot laugh. No laughter in the house. How do you live in that damn place? Well, she was called a devil of a woman because when she laughs, there's no limit, she will shake the street. And there are various aspects to her. And she was, in India at that time, there was a thing that a woman or a girl cannot use tobacco till she is married. She got married at the age of 14. The day she got married, she exercised her right and started smoking, using tobacco, chewing tobacco. So when she was 111 years of age, she got throat cancer. She refused to be treated. She refused to take painkillers, nothing. She simply sat with her throat swollen like that in extreme pain, but she simply sat quietly, she couldn't speak. She just sat till the last day she cooked her own food. At 113 she passed away. Why I'm saying this is because today, unfortunately, humanity is deeply contaminated with information, deeply. All kinds of nonsensical stuff. Everybody can go online or just read 2 WhatsApp messages and act like a soil scientist. Yes, about everything. People know… when people know everything, they're a disaster, just know this. We have replaced human attention with information. We don't pay attention to anything. We know everything. I read about you online. I know you. I don't have to pay attention how you sit, how you stand, how you speak. No, I already know you because I've read your goddamn page. We have become like this. Once you lose your attention, you lost the creation itself. If you lost the creation, definitely you lost the source of creation in your life. You're just a bundle of nonsense that you think is valuable, just information. Through the screen today, everybody has seen the cosmos. Hello? Nobody has even time to look at somebody's face. Everything is here, everything is here. Well, technology is a powerful thing if you know how to use it. Right now, this SaveSoil movement is even possible only because of technology. This is the first time in the history of humanity we can stand here and talk to the entire world. When was it possible? Many great beings have come in this world. When they spoke, even hardly 10 people could hear. This is the first time we can stand here and speak to the entire world. When we have such a power, if we do not create the world that we want to live in, it shows we just don't care. Hello? Because in our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, that's not the issue. But if we do not do what we can do, we are a disastrous life. What we can do must happen. What we cannot do will not happen, that's all right. But for the first time, when you are able to talk to the entire world, how are we using this capability? This is a very important thing. You have a phone, you have phone, smartphone or dumb phone? Huh? Smartphone, okay. No, I'm just checking because you generally refer to somebody as smart only if they are smarter than you, right? No, I'm just being mean, it's okay. So you have a smartphone, but of course you have a need to send a few silly messages to somebody, please do that. I'm not against that, but this is a powerhouse. What you're holding in your hand is not just a phone, it's a powerhouse. Just you, one person can reach the entire world if you have a relentless commitment to do so, yes or no? Question is only, will you do it? The question is only, will you do it? That is a question. Hello? Oh, I have to ask this question 3 times, will you do it? Yes! Because this is not just my planet, this is ours. Hello? This is ours. We have divided ourselves, unfortunately, in the name of nations, in the name of religions, race, caste, creed, gender, this, that nonsense. Every possible way that you can divide humanity, we have done it. But it's extremely important that we find some common factors, some common denominators which connect all of us. If you do not understand what is this all-unifying cosmic consciousness, leave that, at least soil. You have come from the soil, you eat of the soil. When they bury you one day, oh, you're all dying people or immortal people? I'm just checking. Hello? Dying people? All dying people. I'll bless you with a long life, but you must die one day. Hello? Hello? Yes, it's very important because if you've not done anything eco-friendly, that is one thing which is ecologically very good, that we put our body back into the soil. Yes, it belongs there. I'm saying this because recently somebody started a business, some entrepreneurship, of course from United States, where where they're advertising that if you pay them $1.7 million, when you die, whenever that is, they will take your body and leave it in the space. Now if they leave it in the space, because there is no oxygen and there is no microbial activity, your body will not rot, it'll be just as it is and it'll float around forever till somebody picks you up one day, I don't know what. I'm saying if you have not done anything sensible in your life, at least when you die, put the damn thing back into the earth. Because we took it from there. The food that we ate is the soil. We took it from there and made it into our flesh and bone. When we are done with this, it must go back there, isn't it? Hello? But our sense of power and our sense of capability has become like this, we will take our bodies and let it float in the space, or we will put it in metal boxes and store it up like a parking lot. This is also happening in large scale. It's time we understand, do what we want. Without the fundamental aspects of nature supporting us, we won't exist for a moment. Let me put this into perspective for you. See, if all the insects on the planet, why I'm talking about insects is 84% of the biomass insects are dead in the last 70 years, 84%. So if all the insects disappear tomorrow morning, in another 4.5 to 6 years, every life on the planet, including you and me, will be clean wiped out. If all the worms disappear, in 2.5 to 4 years, every life on the planet, including you and me, will be gone. If all the microbial planet disappears right now, we will end right now. 60% of your very body is microbial life. Only 40% is your parental genetics. This little girl in one of the cities that I was traveling, she came to me and said, "Sadhguru, I want to do SaveSoil, my mother won't let me, she won't let me even learn the la-la-le-le-le. She is telling me do homework." I said, "You tell your mother she's only 20%. 60% microbial life, 20% your father, she's only 20%, she can tell you that much." This is important that we understand this. Your children don't come from you, they come through you, it's a great privilege. And once we have children, that means we are concerned about the future. Hello? That's a statement. Hello? That is a statement that we don't want this life or this human race to end with me. We want this to go on, that's what it means, children. I was in Tbilisi. In the morning, one TV journalist is interviewing me and he says, "Sadhguru, in Georgia, we are not interested in the future. We are interested in our jobs, we are interested in our gas price and this and that and war." I said, that is fine. If you're not at all interested in future, that is fine. This is all coming from these silly ideas of be in the moment. It got you also in Jordan? Huh? You also? Oh. So I said, see, this is fine if you're not at all interested in future. But do one thing as a nation, stop having children, because once you have children, you have expressed that you're concerned about the future. Hello? Yes. Because once you have a child, it's a 20-year project. If you're not ready for a 20-year project, you should not go for it. It's 20 years only if they do well. If they don't do well, it's a lifelong project. So this aspect of we thinking we are supremely important, we must understand this. If the insects die in 4 to 6 years, everything will end. If the worms die in 2 to 4 years, everything will end. If all of us disappear, planet will flourish, we better know that. So other life is not happening because of us. Because of them we are happening. We are just a consequence of that microscopic life. Where did we get this sense of self-significance? Oh, all the human suffering that's happening, where do you think it's manufactured? In Jordan? Hello? Where is it manufactured? No, you didn't hear that. Every day I meet so many thousands of people, the varieties of sufferings that people have invented is unbelievable. If they're poor, they suffer the poverty. If they become rich, they suffer the taxes. If they're uneducated, they suffer that. Put them to school, daily suffering. If they're not married, they suffer that. Get them married. I didn't say anything. I did not say anything. No children, they suffer that. Give them children, daily pain in the neck. So what is it that they're not suffering? They're suffering everything, they're suffering life itself. Offer them death, they'll suffer that. So the problem is this, the problem is not of life. The problem is you have not even learned how to manage your mind. When will you learn this? You are 25, 30, 50, 60 years of age, you have still not learned how to use your thought and emotion for your well-being. When will you learn this? I just want to know in Jordan, what is your life expectancy? Are you 10,000 years or something? Hello? Then when will you learn? By 30, 40, 50, if you have not learned how to use your thought and emotion the way you want, when is it? See, it's like this. Suppose please make a fist with your right hand, all of you. And now bong, 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 start it. Suppose your right hand starts hitting you. What to do? If you have a friend or family, they will hold you, no, 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 don't do this, don't do this. But chun, chun, chun. Then if nothing works, they will tie this hand to the chair. If that also doesn't work, maybe we'll have to amputate this hand, otherwise you'll kill yourself. Right now, that's all that's happening with human beings. They don't know how to use their own thought and emotion, bong, 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 hitting in the face all the time, sit down, stand up, they're suffering something. Hello? Now to alleviate this suffering, they're digging up the planet, turning it upside down, in search of happiness, in search of well-being. Just reminding you, whether it is pain or pleasure, joy or misery, agony or ecstasy, even light or darkness only happens within you. Yes or no? Hello? Hello? It only happens within you. What happens within you must happen your way, isn't it? Hello? That person won't happen your way, this person won't happen your way, that person won't happen you… I know you tried. you try to make some people just the way you want them. I know what's the result. Because nobody in this world will ever happen 100% the way you want them. Have you found anybody like that? Or are you still such a hopeless romantic, you're looking? No, you will never find them. You know, in India, there are stories like this. People always say in the villages, wives complaining about their husbands because whatever, whosever fault it is, it doesn't matter. Complaints are there from both ends. So they say, oh, you know what? Krishna was God himself, but his own wives were complaining all the time. Even they were complaining. So it doesn't matter who you find, what you find, nothing will ever happen 100% your way. But this one person must happen your way, isn't it? Hello? If you happen the way you want, would you keep yourself blissed out or miserable? Tell me, you must choose, I'm going to bless you. Blissed out or miserable? Hey, you must choose. Some of you are not choosing, this is the problem. Because you don't understand your present condition of joy or misery, agony or ecstasy is only a question of choice. And that choice has not been made, either within or outside. I'm asking, in which country have at least 60% of the population stood up and expressed that we are concerned about the future well-being of this nation, we are concerned about the future well-being of our children, we are concerned about the environment in this country. In which country have they spoken? They will speak chu like gossip in a tea party or in a dinner party, they will talk and go and sleep. Hello? In which country have people, at least 60% of the adults have raised their voice and said, we are concerned? You don't have to fight, at least you must express. Because every government in the world, whether you understand this or not, whatever type of government you have, one way or the other, they are only trying to fulfill people's mandate. If the people do not express what they want, that will not happen. No single country has anywhere people have expressed. Small groups talking, when they talk also, they all in full anger and resentment, they say war on climate change. God damn it, climate change is bad enough, don't start a war now. And you go on the street in great anger and resentment and shout at everybody. If you get angry, it definitely will cause global warming, isn't it? Hello? Did it happen in your home or no? When you got angry, it caused warming? This is not an agitation. This is not a protest. This is not a fight for sure. This is an expression of our love and responsibility for the very life that we are and every other life that supports us and the future life that should be on this planet. If we have no emotion, no focused thought towards our own well-being, our well-being will be accidental, isn't it? People are always looking at other planets and stars, what is going to happen to my life? Please, God damn it, look at this planet, what happens to this planet will happen to your life for sure. Where the other planets are going, where the stars are going, whether that'll influence you or not, you can debate. But what happens to this planet will definitely determine the quality of your life. Right now, every responsible scientist is pointing out by 2045, we will be producing 40% less food and our population will be over 9 billion people. That's not a world you want to live in. That's not a world where you want to leave your children and go for sure. Hello? Now, they were all talking about water stress. You have the distinction of being number 2. That's not a thing to celebrate. But I'm telling you, by 2032, it is expected that 3.5 billion people on the planet will be water stressed. And this will trigger mass migrations. They're expecting by 2032 to 2035, we will have about 1.2 billion people migrating in the world, mainly because of degraded soils and water stress. And those times are gone when people are thirsty, they just sat in one place and died because they did not know what is happening in some other place. Today everybody is informed, everybody is seeing where it is, everybody has some means of transport, and they will travel. Migration. When it is unplanned, forced migration like this, the amount of suffering that human being will go through will never be reported. If 1,000 people die, somebody will write about it. But the suffering that the living go through is worse than the death, especially women and children. The worst suffering during migration happens to women. Worst exploitation happens to women. A stable society is very, very, very essential if women on this planet have to live well. Wherever there is any kind of strife, suffering first comes to the woman, always. This is why the past has been like this, because of so much strife. For the first time, we have come to a place where almost every piece of geography has some kind of a government of its own, and every piece of geography on the planet, every human being belongs to some administrative entity that you call as a government or a nation. This is the first time that we are disorganized. This is the first time we have technologies and capabilities which were never before. This is the first time where man's muscle is not the only power on the planet. Because of that, women have equal possibilities in this world. Don't think it is because of some great evolution. It is just technology has taken away the significance of man's muscle. It's important that it stays that way, but once there is food strife, once there is water strife, then once again it will come back. Who has more muscle will rule the world. I want all of you to remember this. Whoever has more muscle will rule the world, whether the muscle is in the form of human muscle or arms and armaments, whatever. Whoever has more muscle will rule the world. Wherever muscle rules, it is ugly. Hello? So it's a crucial moment in our life, it's a crucial moment in this generation's life, it's a crucial moment in the history of humanity that we are in a cusp of time where if we act now, in the next 10 to 15 years' time, we can turn this situation around significantly. But if you allow it to simply go as it is for another 25 to 30 years, it will become very difficult. If we allow it to go for another 35 to 40 years, it will become nearly impossible because according to UNFAO right now, the average loss of biodiversity per year is 27,000 species per year.